name is Gui Ui. It's written G-U-Y, and last name is O-E-I. Written, and I'm the oldest grandson of the owner of and the founder of Toko De Zon, which is now called Matahari Department Store. My grandfather was, I think, 11 or 12 when he came to
Indonesia?
From China to Indonesia, actually, and he had a older brother who had a warung, which is like a lean-to on the side of a building, and his older brother had a little warung, and he was taking care of his mother because his mother was much younger. He was the younger son. So what happened is the son, my grandfather, went to provide for his mother, went around with what they call a pikulan, with a bamboo stick with baskets front and back, and he goes to all the little villages and door to door to sell stuff.
Yeah, so he pickled himself?
He carried it himself. He was the only one.
How old was he at that time?
I think at that time he was probably 13 or 14
13 years
or
old?
15.
Okay.
Yeah, he was starting there. And he was quite young. And when he was very young, like I said, his brother had a warung, which is one step up, of course, from having to carry it one by one. So his brother suddenly died, and when the brother died, my grandfather decided, well, he had to take over because he had to take care now also of his son, his brother's children and the mother. So he took over the warung.
The warung was in Jakarta.
The warung was in Jakarta, and he took over the warung. And after he took over the warung, he found out that there's a lot of stuff that's in the warung that was on loan from a big Dutch company, the biggest import-export Dutch company is called Borsume, Borneo Sumatra Maatschappij. They're the only ones actually. They're the big import-exporter. They kind of have a monopoly, huge building. So it's a Dutch company. So what happened, he saw that these things are on loan, basically on consignment. So he didn't know what to do. And he knew that he could not pay it back in time. So he went to the big company, and this is a huge company. I've been to the headquarters. And even in Holland, I've been in the headquarters. But it's a very big company. They're all Dutch people. And there's this Chinese guy. And he doesn't speak very good Indonesian, didn't speak Dutch at all, only spoke Hokkien, which is Fujian. So he went there, and somehow he talked to someone there, and he says, my brother died. And they said, oh, in their mind, they said, well, if the brother died, that means that they don't get the money. So then he said, but I will make sure you get everything back. I will take his debts and I will pay you back everything he owes. But you have to give me some time. So to their surprise, he actually did it. Took him a while, but then he paid them all back. They were so impressed with that. So what they did is they decided they're going to give him some more stuff. See? And so that's how it got started. It was basically the fact that he was so honest and so upright about it. And I cannot picture it, how a man like that, you know, who's basically just a pikulan guy, is gonna go to this big Borsume company in the office, you know, and talk to the president. And so what happened is, somehow he got it. So they kept giving him more and more stuff. And he grew. And more stuff. And he grew. He was always returning the money. And it was really good business. So little by little, that's how it got started. He got a bigger and bigger and bigger store, and then he got one big store in Jakarta, which is Toko De Zon, the original one in Pasar Baru. Then after that, he opened up more. He had one in Surabaya, Bandung, Lembang. I don't even know where they all are, every single one of them. But there's several. I think it was a nice story mainly because it's something that big could start with just being very honest, which is what I thought is a very nice story.
So actually, when he went to Indonesia, he didn't have a penny.
He didn't have a penny.
Right, and actually, he just came by himself, or?
He came by himself.
By himself, no brothers, no sisters.
His father and mother. I don't know. His mother is already there.
The mother
was already there with the older brother.
Oh,
at the Warung, mostly pots and pans and little things like that. You know, all the stuff, because they were the only ones. Borsume had like a monopoly on importing, exporting everything, but they carried everything, refrigerators, everything else. Right?
But this company
that was later, of course.
This is a Dutch company, actually.
It's
right?
a Dutch company. It's the biggest.
Biggest Dutch company,
Dutch
importer,
company.
whatever,
Importer,
exporter, yeah. Okay.
And like I said, they have a monopoly. So I was explaining it was what was fun. It was what I had. I was the oldest grandson, so it was fun. So we lived about 3 blocks away from the zone, you know. So we Krekot. So it was just 3 blocks. I could walk it, and I was there every afternoon after school. And then I get to play with things. I was in the toy department. I could play with any toy. I could not take it home. I could not take it home, but I could play with any toy. Yes, my grandfather left to go to Singapore.
Oh.
And when he lived.
What year was that?
I think it was probably 1950. I think 1950, 50,
That's the time you
51.
sold the Matahari?
No, he did not sell Matahari then. What he did is he kept it, and he had in Singapore he had another business. It's called Aurora, and he started that, and then it was another department store, but he wanted to keep it there. Singapore was not a very big place in those days, right? So he had some places there. Actually, it's a long story, you know, when you really think about it, because then after that, I can tell you this other one. His right-hand man is Ong Chu Kim. I don't know if you heard of Ong Chu Kim. Ong Chu Kim is his right-hand man, and when he went along to Singapore with my grandfather. Then later on, Ong Chu Kim started his own business, and it's now Metro department store in Singapore.
Is it the same Metro as in Indonesia? Because
it's probably the same Metro as in Indonesia.
Yes, because we do have a lot of Metro nowadays in Indonesia.
and all of Singapore is Metro. That was my what I call him my uncle. That's Ong Chu Kim. So that's a different story.
He's not related, of course.
He's not related.
Yeah,
he's the.
But I think your grandfather was knighted, right?
Yes, he was
knighted by the Queen of.
He was knighted at the Queen. He was the first when he went to Singapore. Actually, he became more interested in doing other things too. So he set up. He had built some hotels. He built a hotel in Sarawak, which is British Borneo, and he built the first big luxury hotel in Sarawak. And so when he was doing that, that was bringing in things. That's when they knighted him, because he was the first one that brings commerce to Sarawak, because nothing was there.
What is the secret of success, according to you?
Yeah, he felt all the time that it has to be honest. Honesty is important, and the fact that you are the man of your word. So when you promise something, you have to deliver. Basically, he feels like everybody should help each other out. as much as possible. He helped out so many people. He had so many families too. You know, first of all, of course, his brothers, and then everybody, all kinds of families relied on him. He was all supporting everybody. A caring person, you know, and very honest.
I think that's the key. Good. Thank you, Guy, for taking the time today, and I wish Happy New Year for all of you and your family.
Thank you.